3 years ago, when Floyd won the provincial award for GM Salesman of the Year, he and Opal went to Halifax for the ceremony. I can't remember ever calling them Mom and Dad, or Mother and Father. I don't call Floyd anything, while Opal always made it clear that being anyone's mom was rock bottom on her list of priorities. This seems like a good time as any to deal with the basics. Name: Brixton Brick Thaddeus McAvoy. Father: Floyd Thaddeus McAvoy. Thaddeus was Floyd's father, who, by all reports, wasn't someone you'd want sitting across from you at the kitchen table. As for my name, the son got dropped a long time ago. Mother: Opal McAvoy, formerly Audrey Brixton. Last name was dumped after Floyd swaggered into view. No regrets that I can see. And what kind of name is Audrey when you're preaching how a bunch of gardenias will bring about universal love? Sister: Cassandra Cassie McAvoy, just turned 4. Age: 14 years and 7 months. Grade: 9, next September. School's only been out a week and a half and I'm already bored out of my skull. Sports: hockey, bantam, B-team, defense. ATV: red Honda 4Trax automatic that Floyd won at the hospital fundraiser. He doesn't like getting his clothes dirty, so he never goes near it. I'm allowed to use it. Important errands only. Girlfriends? None. Address: 138 Hilchey River Road, Rural Row number 4. And no, I don't blame you if you've never heard of it. Head down the eastern shore of Nova Scotia, and you're going in the right direction. Nearest town: Hilchey Bay. Could be you've never heard of that, either. Long-term plan: leave here the day I turn 16. 3 weeks before Christmas. Yes, Floyd, there is a Santa Claus. I walk indoors, hang my helmet and hoodie in the mudroom, and go into the kitchen. Cassie's sitting at the table with her stuffed skunk. She calls him Rover because she wants a puppy, even though I told her we can't have one. Ever. She's scowling at me. Went to the library without me. You were asleep. She shoves a picture book across the table. We gotta take this back. The book is about a pink dragon named Petronella, whose hobby is turning the villagers' gardens to soot. It's not due yet. It gives me night scares. That's her word for bad dreams. We'll take it back in a couple of days. Now! We can't. I gotta do the woodpile. What was the night scare about? A dragon burned down all our trees. Its eyes were red like its brain was on fire. I hid under my bed and its claws went scritch-scratch on the floor. Gross. You weren't there to save me. I pat her on the sleeve. Dragons like Petronella live in faraway countries. She lives in our oven. She's why the tuna melts went black. I had my nose stuck in a book and forgot about the tuna melts. That's why they went black. Try telling that to Cassie, who has enough imagination for 6 kids. Good thing she watches daytime TV. Tyrone and Pablo from the Backyardigans are sweeter than fudge. And so are the reruns of Blue's Clues. How about I make bacon and eggs for lunch, I say. Then we'll go to the library? Not today, we won't. But I'll hide the book in my room so you'll be safe from Petronella. Ketchup on the eggs? Okay. Floyd's empty coffee mug is still sitting on the table. The Eric Lindros mug he's had for years. Philadelphia Flyers, number 88. Good-looking guy. Big, physical, everything I'm not. Sure, I'm tall for my age, but the day muscles were parceled out, I must have called in absent. Using both hands. You dropped it, kiddo? I placed the mug in the dishwasher. Back, right-hand corner, nothing touching it. All right, so if I'm thinking critically, I want to think conventions, why that part in italics, why the dashes. It almost seems like it's someone else talking. It sounds like it's Brick's father talking, Floyd. Then I fry up some bacon while Cassie watches for the toast to pop up. The bacon turns out crisp but not burnt. Perfecto when you add eggs easy over and toast slathered with strawberry jam. Cassie feeds the crust to Rover. Normally, with Floyd at work and Opal out, we could watch TV. I go upstairs, drag on my oldest jeans, and rummage for my work gloves in the bottom drawer. Floyd's the Hilchey River woodpile expert, studying the different types of wood and reading articles on the internet. In the meantime, I supply the boy power because, let's not kid ourselves, manpower it ain't. Manpower, I've decided, is like a peak of Everest. Not many get there, and they leave a mega trail of garbage along the way. Useful fact. If you're ever crazy enough to climb Mount Everest, in the dead zone at the peak where the oxygen runs out, you'll be staggering past the corpses of long dead climbers. Impossible to cart them away. Don't get too big for your crampons. Anyway, feel free to skip the following description of the McAvoy woodpile, as stacked by yours truly last July. It's behind the house in the middle of the clearing. It's 2 tiers deep, oriented west-east to catch the prevailing winds, the top covered with a black tarp. Maximum heat absorption, hence maximum evaporation. Up to 50% of weight of green wood is water. I could go on. The whole thing sits on wooden pallets from Home Hardware. No bottom rot in our woodpile, no sir. I lugged 6 pallets from the cellar. First decision, where should they go? Don't want them under the trees. They shouldn't go too close to the back of the garage. Should I start by taking wood from last year's pile and stacking it in the cellar? Should I lie down on the grass, put my ball cap over my eyes, and go to sleep? After I lay the pallets on the far side of the present pile, I tip several wheelbarrow loads of wood onto the grass beside them. Birch logs, half split, the grain pale. Put 'em bark side up, leave gap for air circulation, 1/2, then 2/1. I quit on the 3rd row. I've shown willing without doing so much. It'll take me all day tomorrow to redo it. Point 4. The Semple Challenge. Cassie's watching Treehouse when Opal gets home. Floyd won't be back for another hour and a half, and I'm in a lousy mood. I sneak out the side door, tramp down the driveway, and cross the road by the bridge. It's one of those days to plunk myself on a rock beside the river and blot everything out. Today, it doesn't work. 2 cords of wood, bruises on my wrist, 31 days in July, 31 more in August. Cassie and me, and Floyd. The river's so freaking goal-oriented, always on a big tear to reach the sea. Eventually I stand up, wincing because the granite's rough and I don't have much in the way of padding. I'd better hike home. It would be just like Floyd to skip out early. Then, as I clamber up the bank to the road, I get lucky. Glenn Simple's walking across the bridge. His greyhound Igor ahead of him. No one else on the road owns a dog, but if they did, it'd be chained up, not mincing along on a pale blue leash that's long enough for 6 dogs. Although Glenn's half a head shorter than me, he never has the wit to act scared. But I'm surprised Igor hasn't run for cover, seeing as how I've been known to fire rocks in his direction. The leash is trailing in the dirt between me and Glenn, and I don't want to get tangled in it, so I give Igor a kick in the ribs. The dog yelps, skitters behind Glenn, and flattens himself against his legs. Glenn bunches his fists. You leave my dog alone. Before I can duck, he lands 2 good ones to my chest. I move in for the kill. Dog. But that's not a dog. It's an overgrown weasel. My heels digging into the dirt, I grab his wrist, lever his arm behind his back, and pull up. Nice and easy. He's standing on tiptoes. His teeth are gritted, but he can't keep the sounds from escaping. He doesn't cry, though. Never has. Igor whines in sympathy. Then I hear a logging truck at the top of the hill. Jack brakes, blatting as it starts down the slope to the bridge. I kick Glenn's feet out from under him and let go of his arm. He drops to the ground, still clutching the leash. I'm halfway down our driveway before the truck roars past. You gotta be careful with the arm twisting routine because you can dislocate someone's shoulder that way. I Googled it. Glenn moved here from Toronto 2 years ago. His father is a retired music professor who owns a bookstore on Main Street. Glenn has blonde, curly hair, makes top marks in school, and plays the flute. He doesn't play hockey, football, basketball, or soccer, all of which should put him at the bottom of the social pile. The girls are all over him. The guys like him. Even the jocks tolerate him. None too smart putting life and fair in the same sentence.